Welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast with my partner Brian Siegler. I'm Curtis Wilson. Brian, did we play a perfect game?
No, we did not play a perfect game. It was not even close to a perfect game. It was a lot closer to our predictions, though. So take that for what you will.
Damn close to our predictions. If you don't fumble inside the 10 one time, you don't fumble inside their 15 one time, we're probably right on the number. Hokies
Very true, man.
Hokies fall 45-10, as all you listening know. You guys are informed Hokie fans for sure, but 45-10, it is what it is. We're on spitball tonight, guys. We got on about 45 minutes ago, watching the game, started chatting, and we were talking about what we're going to do for a rundown. And we sat there and we chatted, and Brian just put in defense, offense, what's next? We're spitballing here. So
yeah,
we
played a Will McAvoy there. Throw out the rundown. We're vamping.
What can you say? That's an elite team that we just played with one of maybe the best collegiate quarterbacks that's ever played, with one of the best collegiate running backs that ever played, with some good receivers, with some good defenders, with a great coaching staff. And Brian, we're sitting here talking. It's 3rd and 4. We're at the 45-yard line, and we run the play, and Brian curses. What the fuck?
Oh, man, it pain. That's it.
A lot of pain.
That's what it was, man. That was kind of indicative of the night. This is another classic 2020 Hokies football game, ladies and gentlemen, where for one half you had one side of the team that played pretty damn well and the other side just didn't make enough plays, and then in the second half the wheels fell off and a 1-score game turns into a 4-score game. And that's what it is. And we've become accustomed to seeing that consistently from this team this year. I mean, we went out there, 17-10 at half, had a chance to potentially tie it going into half, and got too conservative, and then almost got lucky in sticking one in, but it came up inches short. And then, just the complete second half dud that we all saw coming but hoped wouldn't happen.
Well, we didn't see it coming initially. Now, me and Brian and some other folks that we talk with had arguments because I was fine with the conservative call. 55 seconds, 3 timeouts with Clemson. We fuck up there, we're going to be down 14. And we talked about managing emotions. How many times, especially the last 2 years, have we seen when we go down, this team fucking crumbles? And that's why I was fine with it. It sucked. I felt like, to me, my advantage, it looked like someone had Heem's arm while he didn't reach out for it. People said he just didn't reach out. But aren't you taught, Brian, as a football player, if it's here, you've got to protect? His instinct took over. Sorry. I was fine with what we did. You weren't. And
I was not.
Some other people that were arguing with me were not. And I mean, is what it is. But you can say why you were not.
You're down 1 score to Clemson before halftime. Had a chance to be tied with Clemson going into halftime. From a mindset perspective, being tied against a team ranked as high as Clemson feels a whole lot better than coming up 6 inches short because you got too damn conservative with a minute and a change to start the drive. You got to be aggressive. You're not up. If you were up, sure, take the conservative route, make sure they don't have a chance to score again before halftime. You're down. You're not playing for anything. Take a damn risk. Roll the dice.
Hey, Brian, what did the defense do when we came out, though?
I mean, they came out there, they get a stop, and then
Yeah, and then defense first half though. If you told me the way they played, and I would have been shocked. That was by far the first half and parts of the early second half was the best J-Ham has called a game. The guys played great. We tackled pretty good, Brian.
We tackled a whole lot better than I expected against a team that's good at not getting tackled.
We played leverage well. We gave up the big chunks. We said it here. We said it here just a few days ago. They're going to get chunks. Try to stop those chunks from being touchdowns. We did. First big chunk of the night was the fourth play of the game. Yep. We stopped it, and then we held to a field goal, which was like the biggest victory.
Yeah, that set the tone for the first half, and until that last drive where they took the lead, it kind of felt like we felt confident in the way we were playing.
Yeah,
that was important at that point in the game. And then you had one touchdown, then you start getting in your mind a little bit. And I'm gonna say something else. What happens to Brad Cornelson's brain when he reaches the opponent's 35-yard line?
Nobody fucking knows, dude.
What happens? It's like
the
super tight butthole as soon as he gets to that 35-yard line. I have no idea that's something you can't cure.
No, it's not.
Because he does it all the time. All the time.
And
he's better inside the 10. It's the 35 to the 10 where he is god awful.
In the words of Gilbert Godfrey and one of your favorites, he's a moron. He's a moron. You know what he is? He's a moron. I mean,
yes, sir.
We got to the 35 a couple times, and it was, that's reasonable distance for Brian Johnson. It's a chance at 3 points. And we just start doing these idiotic things, or not idiotic things sometimes. How about predictable?
It's predictable and bad. Let's pussyfoot behind the line of scrimmage with the play that we usually call.
Yep, that was another one.
And then all of a sudden, you're at 2nd and 14 or 3rd and 15. And I'm going to say so. I've been up and down on this player a lot, but this player had a bad game today, and that's Brock Hoffman. And not between the whistles. Brock Hoffman had a bad game once the whistle blew. Brock Hoffman was not doing what I said, and that is controlling your emotions and playing within the game.
0. He controlled them 0. His ass got benched today, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad when we're like, yeah, he's playing so bad we're going to put Hoyt in there. We're going to roll that snapping dice, and we're going to say we'll take a couple snaps over a quarterback's head over bonehead play. We're losing 15 yards anyway. We might as well lose it within the whistles.
It's true, man. It's true, and it's one of those things where what he brings with the nastiness. He brings the edge, which is great, but too many times, and it seems like too many times when we're in scoring situations where we're driving the ball, it's been happening.
Yeah, we get a good play on what, 3rd down or second down it was.
Yeah.
We're already in field goal range, and we get a good play on 2nd down, and then you get it backed up 15 yards. So instead of a 3rd and 2, you're at 3rd and 24 or something like. What are you doing, man? Just play the game you need to play. You're not gaining an edge if you do stuff after the whistle. You gain an edge by everything you do within the whistle.
Within the whistle till the echo of the whistle.
Yeah.
The stuff that happened today, the play was over, and he just launched himself. And it was just like, what are you doing? Yeah, they took the quarterback to the ground, but that's their job. It's not like you were engaged. It's not like that it was 10 seconds after and they throw a shoulder on Braxton laying down. The play was over. The guy was within his right to do what he did. And you go in there and you lay a shoulder. And it went from it would have been 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 20. And then, of course, 3rd and 20. Let's go back to the play calling. In 3rd and 20, it's like we need to take a shot. we're not within field goal range because at that point in time it would have been like a 60-yarder. But it's like, okay, you would probably straight run a screen, run something where you can get maybe 5 or 10 regardless.
Yep.
What do? What is it? It was a quarterback run, right?
Yeah. It was another quarterback run, and saw a lot of those tonight. Saw a lot of those from 3 different quarterbacks tonight.
3 quarterbacks. By the way, prayers up for Hendon Hooker. We right before we got on, the tweet went out that Hendon Hooker could not get warm. When he went back out there the second, he was not right. He was not right when he took that snap.
No. In my personal opinion, he shouldn't have been on the field.
No.
I don't know what the words were exchanged in terms of him conveying stuff to the staff. But if he was dealing with that to that degree, he should not have been on the field.
No, not at all. And that's almost, you almost want to say to a point malpractice, because if he really was feeling like that, you don't put him out there, because that could mean so many things. That could mean neurological things. That could mean he's coming down with the flu. That could mean so many bad things. And it kind of started early because with that weird snap where he fumbled it.
He looked like his brain and his body weren't communicating properly.
No, they weren't. There's something going on. So prayers up for him from, for all of us. Again, these guys are playing a rough game. We pull for the players 100%.
Yep.
I still think whomever the coach is next year, if Hendon is healthy, Hendon is a viable Division I starting quarterback and a very good one. He's been put in some bad situations this year.
Absolutely, and I think he's a guy that if we wanted to see him take some of those next steps we had talked about before the season, he probably needed a full off season. So I mean, I'm sure that's working against him. The stuff with COVID to start the season and him not getting as many practices worked against him, and then just some of the play calls and some of the fact that he's having to tote the ball a lot more than he probably should have. It takes a toll on you, man. And I don't know if any of that has anything to do with what's going on with him tonight, but regardless of that, I like Hendon Hooker. He's my quarterback. So that's all I'll say on that one.
Yeah, he's our quarterback. Saw Knox Kadum tonight. Knox with some good run.
They had a couple good throws. They had one that almost hit Blackshear up the sideline. I was like, just leave that a little more in bounds, man. That was looked like a little wheel route from the slot by Blackshear. Got behind the cornerback there. Safety came over a little late there, but the ball just wasn't quite where it needed to be. Venables lit into the cornerback on that one. I don't know if you saw that in the broadcast, but he was livid on that one.
He lost his shit on that. It's pretty funny. But with Knox, 3-star guy. Who won back-to-back state titles after Trevor Lawrence graduated in that division?
Was it Knox?
Knox Kadum down at Rome.
Shout out Knox.
Shout out Hambone. Hey man, you got a guy who coaches. He knows his shit, knows the players. Had conversations with them.
It's helpful having a couple guys that are in the coaching ranks and a couple guys that have some of that that insight there. So shout out Hambone. Love you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while, so we got to get together sometime soon. Yeah, man. Let's talk about Blackshear.
Oh, do you want to talk about Blackshear, Mr. 100?
Let's talk about Blackshear.
Finally used him right, but you got excited.
I was like, where was this 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago? Like, we've been saying all year, this guy's an offensive weapon. This guy's an offensive weapon. Stop using him as a spellback. This guy's an offensive weapon. He's not a between the tackles runner. Use him. Not like that. use him the right way. And we finally get a little taste of it tonight. Man, we could have really used some of that the previous 9 games.
Damn right we could have. But it goes back
As thin as we've been at wide receiver all year, you telling me that a guy with that type of talent couldn't have done a little something for us? You shake your head at that, man.
You know what? It goes back to the stuff that has been discussed about what Jerry Keel said about Brad Cornelison. He can't read film. I think it fucking proves it. Look at you when you looked at the Rutgers tape, Brian. This is starting last February when we started this podcast, when he committed. After he committed and you got to look at it, you're like, man, this offense, he can do this. He can do this. Oh, my God, this is great. This is a perfect weapon for this offense. And it literally just took them 9 weeks in a game every single way.
It took y'all 9 games and a year on how to get him involved.
Well, here's what happened. Fuente sent Keel the tape. And Keel was like, well, just use these 7 plays. Hell, he'll probably get 100 yards. Why y'all do this all year?
Oh, man.
You know, and Juice broke 1,000 tonight, which is great. Juice Herbert, did you see it earlier this week? Like there was one of the draft gurus has put him as the number 5 back.
Yeah. And I mean, that's probably a good. I'd say somewhere between 3 and 5 would be where I'd put him. If he'd have had a full season, been healthy all year, I mean, he'd be at least 1,200. I'd say.
I'd say 14. I'd say more.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm saying at this point, not even counting what he's going to get against UVA. I think he's at least at 1,200 if he plays both of those games. Because he had very limited snaps in one game and sat out completely the other. So.
It's true. The other thing about Juice, and you saw it tonight against an elite team with a very good front four and an elite back end. His patience, he waits for the holes. A couple times he made a couple Ushkas getting back, and he got back to the line, luckily. His patience. But there were a couple times when Venables would send those blitzes. His pass protection. He knew what he needed to do. He got his body there. He threw the shoulder. He knocked the guy offline, forcing the ball downfield. Especially on that play to Tay Robinson, where Tavion, they sort of blew their coverage, and Tavion ran the perfect route, got behind the guy. The blitz is coming. You saw Juice just throw that right shoulder, knock the guy completely offline, the fire down the field, huge gainer. He's not coming back. So go ahead and put that. Christian Darrisaw had a nick tonight. They did not put him back in, thank God.
Yep.
Almost, if you're Darrisaw, if Darrisaw doesn't play against UVA, I don't care. He shouldn't. That guy has made his money. You didn't see his side too much tonight. You saw him wipe out some of the better defensive linemen on that Clemson team, and they are good. Yep. He was owning them. He is a first-round pick. What I will say, Brian?
Yep.
I wouldn't mind my team taking him. We got Trent Williams. Well, Mike McGlinchey's looking more like if he slipped down inside, it'd be a lot better. His pass pro is just not that good, but he would make a nasty guard at 6'8". I'd take him at 20.
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking him either as a future left tackle for us as well, because our guy's getting up there too.
So yeah.
So I feel bad for those guys that they're going out this way. I'm hoping that we can circle the wagons a little bit and get the damn Commonwealth Cup back, because I haven't seen this team play 4 quarters well enough where I'm even confident at that at this point.
Yeah, it's true, man. I mean, the only game we played 4 quarters well was the first. The NC State game. That was our best game of the year, with guys not there. So just let's do this. Why hasn't Changa Hodge been used all year? His routes didn't look complicated tonight, but they were very effective.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what he did tonight. catch after I think having one or two targets all year and no catches. Finally got some targets, got some catches out of him. Looked good with the ball in his hands. Wish we would have gotten him more involved a lot earlier in the season. Could have really helped with some of the depth issues we had at wide receiver. Could have kept guys like Trey Turner more healthy as we were going through the year. But, here we are at December the 5th, and, we finally get some catches for the young man. So good for him for, making the most out of the opportunities he was given today. Fayers had a couple catches as well.
Fayers had one.
Okay.
But both, they went 3 for 22 combined. But you've always talked about what our offense, what really helps it are those 5, 6, 7 easy passes. The 2 balls they caught were easy. They weren't strenuous catches. But you have always mentioned those type passes, the linebacker, everything starts spreading when you start doing that. The linebackers go out. The safeties go out. And when you've got guys like Juice or whether Braxton's quarterback or Hendon's quarterback, when that starts spreading, it's a lot more room to go.
Also, when you got to make linebackers and safeties and nickel corners have to move towards the sidelines and not towards the middle of the field or upfield to get penetration in the run game, it opens so much of the other stuff up. And, when safeties start creeping, you can hit them over the top with double moves. You can hit them over the top with play action. So there's just so much other stuff that can open up if you can work those the play action and when you can work the short passing game. And it's frustrating watching our inability to set some of this stuff up where we can really take those shots when they will help us.
Well, but it's even more frustrating that what we see on the offense is and we've said this a couple times. We've said it numerous times this year. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. And I've said it to Brian, and I've said it on here numerous times. This type of offense with who we can get recruiting-wise right now, it's so effective. It's so effective.
Yep.
And the thing is, if you had the right person pulling the trigger on plays, even with Trey's a 4-star, Hendon's a 4-star, Doug Nestor's a 4-star, James Mitchell's is a 4-star, right? Taylor's 4 stars, the rest are 3 stars or 2 stars. We should be putting up 40 points a game. Even against a team like Clemson, you saw us move the ball at times today. That's what's frustrating. That's what's frustrating to us as fans.
Well, you can't have the execution flaws that we had tonight, and you can't have the bad play calls that kill drives that are moving well. It was a comedy of errors between the bad calls, the post-whistle miscues, and the times we put the ball on the turf tonight. Like, it was just a comedy of errors. And, I'm not saying that it would have made the game close enough where we would have had a shot at the end, but it would have at least covered the damn spread. So
True.
that would have been something to talk about, even if it was a loss. So you lost out on that by just ineptitude on offense. And the plays are there. It's the preparation for the team that you're playing, and then the calls themselves, especially in certain areas of the field or certain times of the game.
And folks, we've been saying this for now weeks. And these were things we were saying last year before we started this podcast. So what really gets you is after 2018, let's go back. Let's reverse back a couple years ago. If the moves are made correctly and the right people are put in place, I coach in a couple weeks. I don't.
So you're saying if we would have hired a proper offensive coordinator 2 years ago, we'd be reloading instead of treading water and
We'd be
potentially drowning here in terms of the head coach?
we'd be making Dabo say, listen, if we can fucking hang 70 on them, we need to fucking hang 70 on them because they're going to become a problem. But he doesn't have to worry about that. What we have to worry about now is where do we go?
Got some news on that front that just hit the pike.
What hit?
Well, Napier is heading back to ULL, and sources are saying, per Bruce Feldman, that Shane Beamer is going to be named the next head coach at South Carolina.
That hurts. But you know what? Good for Shane, because as I'm looking at the Oklahoma-Baylor game, that game is 27-7. Oklahoma should have scored a lot more points than it did. What this tells me is Shane Beamer, who did an interview this week, because remember, everybody read Stoops came in for a couple of days to help out. Shane Beamer doing a hell of a lot more than just special teams coordinating and coaching the tight ends. Sounds like he might be running practices, running scout teams, and shit like that. Because they struggled. I was keeping an eye on their game as our game kind of waned on. They struggled until the last couple drives here.
Yeah, and I mean, you hate it. I know that Shane Beamer has been a lightning rod within the fan base, even though I think a lot of folks have kind of warmed up to the idea of Shane, regardless of how they feel about some of the things that they were apprehensive about before, especially with everything we've got going on with COVID and with having to potentially get rid of a coach during COVID. I think there was a lot to be excited about if Shane Beamer was the guy. But now we move on. We'll see if sounds like Napier's holding out maybe for another position potentially in the SEC.
Auburn.
So, we move kind of, unfortunately, down the list. I think that was probably two of our top 3 or 4 guys on the list. So there's probably 2 more out there that are high candidates and maybe 1 or 2 that are fallbacks if you feel like you absolutely have to get rid of Fuente at this point, which I feel like I think we're in agreement. You have to get rid of Fuente at this point. Well, again, optics be damned. We talked about this on Thursday night.
Hey,
I'll listen Friday. Yeah.
Who should we go handcuff to something in Lane Stadium right now?
Let's keep the Tony Pony around.
Let's keep Tony Elliott. Listen, just back of a Brinks truck. That's yours.
Yeah, hey, Mr. Elliott, let's have a little chat real quick here. You run a damn fine offense there, sir.
All right, let's be realistic, though. We're going from here. Again, tonight we lose. We see the defense have its best game of the year. The offense does the same old shit, just different day. But now that we're seeing the news breaking, live to us, and y'all are going to see this by the time Brian drops this out on Monday morning, Shane's going to South Carolina. Now, for Shane, hold on a second. I need to send that message to my cousin who is a South Carolina alumni. Yep, it's 11:30, but his ass should still be up. In a moment here. He's seeing this shit right now.
Is that going to make him happy or not? Is he a Shane guy?
I don't know. He's an older guy. He is. He graduated 88, 89 there. So clearly this is the best era. The Spurrier era was the best era of football he's seen. But I have a question, though, if you say Shane goes there. They fired Muschamp, right? Is Shane – this is what I want to ask. Is Shane putting himself in never getting another head coach position after this? Because they've got Georgia. They've got Florida. Tennessee's always sleeping. Kentucky's decent. They'll beat Vandy every year. They should beat Missouri every year.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, man. A lot of it's going to depend on what fan expectations are for this team and how much rope they're going to give the next staff. Because, obviously Muschamp didn't get the job done, and that's even with probably slightly lower expectations than what they had during the Spurrier era. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I think for the most part, I think that fan base to still be in the potential conversation to play in the SEC championship game if it's after, November 15th. If they still are not mathematically eliminated from that, most years they'll be happy. Every 3 years they'd like to get to one.
So they're going to beat Florida and Georgia every 3 years, both of them in the same year.
At least one of them, and let them eat themselves on the other side. Even if they skirt in on a tiebreaker, man.
But hold on. But what you're saying is that you're going to beat one of them, but then when the year they finally do it, they'll play Alabama and get squirrel stomped.
Absolutely, they will. But I think that fan base is happy enough just being invited.
Until they aren't.
But that's going to depend on how much they ratchet up expectations based on those wins.
All right. So if Shane's out, Healy, Napier, I think Napier's waiting for Gus to get fired. That's my gut of guts. Because I think Napier, what he likes to do, and he sees what Gus has there, I just need him to fire because I can walk in and win 9 or 10 games the first year and make them happy. Anyway, Freeze, I think, is going to Tennessee. Pruitt, I think he's done. Although some people say, well, Pruitt, give him another year. This crap happening. All right. Give him another year. All the people that think you should keep Fuente around another year, keep him another year. Let me throw these two names, or let me throw this name at you. If you're Witt right now, you see Shane's gone. Or per Bruce Feldman. You call Luke Fickell up and say it's yours and whatever you want.
I mean, Fickell, I think, was going to be one of the top 2 or 3 candidates regardless. So, I mean, you certainly do everything you can at this point, knowing your other probably 2 to 4 top candidates are no longer in play. You go ahead and say, we'll do whatever we can do and have that interview and have those discussions and see what comes of that. Beyond that, I mean, we've named some other guys that we said we'd be okay with if some of the top names weren't the guy. We had mentioned guys like Grantham. We had mentioned guys like Chadwell. We had mentioned Healy. We had mentioned Marcus Freeman. So, I mean, all those guys are still potential candidates out there. Varying degrees of how you feel about them, obviously. But, just because those 2 are gone doesn't mean that we're out of the hunt here. So, got to push forward on that front.
And anybody that out there that says, well, I don't want a B- or I don't want a B- higher, fuck that. Because right now you are about to lose more people. I do not want to see Lane Stadium next year at 50,000. I do not want to see it where, Brian, if me and you want to go, you got $10, let's go. I don't want to see that. And I said that Thursday. I said that a couple times. I don't want to see that. I want tickets to be the hardest tickets in the state of Virginia to find.
Yeah.
And if you keep him there, it's going to happen. And I don't care. And what if he makes all these changes? What if he makes the changes?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. I mean, COVID aside, the roster's not going to get any better in the near future than it was this year.
Nope.
So if this is what we're getting with this roster, we need to do something different.
We have to. You're talking about this roster. I know people say, well, they didn't have the offseason. Nobody had an offseason. Nobody had spring.
Yeah, so
the same
nobody had this stuff. So either you're saying you're making excuses for the coaches not doing well right now, but everybody else obviously was doing well enough at some point where they're not having these same problems. So it's still circling back to the coach in some way, shape, or form here.
It's true, man. And then if you just go ahead and just look around the ACC right now. I mean, take a look at the ACC, Brian, and just the ACC. So, we can just look around. Miami with a brand new offensive coordinator is 7-1. NC State, what seemed like a lame duck coach with new defensive coaches, is 7-3. Boston College with a brand new coaching staff, missed Jerkovich missed him today, 5-5. UVA is 4-4, 5-4 now. Wake is essentially, sorry, somehow this gave me something weird. Wake is 4-3. Pitt's 5-5. We're down here on the bottom half with Georgia Tech, Louisville, Florida State, Duke, and Syracuse. That don't cut it.
I mean, I was going to be disappointed if we didn't at least win 7 games this year. So obviously, count me in the very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. I was thinking we had the potential to win 8 or 9 games on this schedule. So, at some point, coaches have to be accountable here, not preparing the team properly to win. Obviously, players are accountable, but we know they're accountable. They're on the field. We see their mistakes.
We see their mistakes.
We see the coaching mistakes too, though. And at some point, you can't get rid of the players. So what are you going to do? Get rid of the damn coaches.
You have to get rid of the coaches. Well, the whole thing we've seen the players go out there and make good plays, make bad plays, but we've also seen it at times where they are put in the worst positions.
Yeah,
the position. Like, why would you put a player in that sort of position? I don't get it. We're about to win our Baylor-Oklahoma line, Brian. 27.
Hey, I mean, I'm going to circle back to the Hendon thing tonight being on the field. I mean, I don't know who made that call, but he should not have been out there, and that's been bothering me since I saw the word of what was going on. I could tell, like, looking at the camera when he came off, he wasn't right, and then just hearing more and more, I'm like, something's going on. Something's going on, and I can't imagine that level of not having that level of awareness to see that he wasn't ready to be the player he needed to be. Like, you're putting him out there where he could potentially get hurt, and that's not good.
No, it's not good at all. What else here? Alabama just smashed the living shit out of LSU tonight, 55-17.
Man, can you imagine, like, Coach O would be gone if he hadn't won a national championship last year.
But you know what it is now? He is going to be on the hot seat next year. If they don't win 10 games, he's probably going to get his ass.
Yeah, he's going to have to call in some favors and get a couple guys in there and right the ship again. I mean, I love Coach O from a just interview, the way he kind of carries things, but he's had those seasons where he's done really well and had some seasons like this where it's just a complete stinker, man.
Man, it's one of those things. I'm past the point of being mad. I'm not mad. I'm dealing with it. But catch me about 10 days from now. If he isn't fired, I'll be mad again because clearly
I'm with you.
Because here's the thing. Witt's putting his neck on the line if he keeps him. I think also if Witt was going to keep him, I think would have said something by now because you try to get out in front of it, right?
I think he would have definitely wanted to, at least, good or bad, I think he would want to set the expectations of the fan base if that's what was coming. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's going to leave the fan base in lurch since the Liberty game and then be like, well, one more year, let's do it.
Let's do this. He's gone. We see, though, I mean, let's just run through. I see Fickle as a good hire. I see Freeman as a good hire. I see Napier as a good hire. Hell,
I don't know if Napier means just at this point because there haven't been official channels yet that he's staying with the Raging Cajuns for now, or if he means that he was only interested in the South Carolina job this season, and if he didn't get that, he was going back. So obviously time will tell on that one, because obviously South Carolina can openly interview for the job right now, whereas we are not in that capacity. So from any official front, that's going to be, what the word is. So hopefully he's still a potential hire on the list, but we shall see.
Yep. I think Napier's still a potential. Again, I think Napier, I think Napier's waiting for Auburn if they fire Gus. By the way, screw it. If they fire Gus, I'll take Gus. Would you? I don't think he'd come, but
I've got mixed emotions on Gus. I like Gus, but oh man.
But there's so many good.
Gus is like a more stable Lane Kiffin to me.
Hey, yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. He is a more stable Lane Kiffin. Because the rumors are flying that Healy is very high for Vandy. Do you believe that? And if Healy were to come and say Vandy or Virginia Tech?
I mean, Virginia Tech's the better job. Vandy plays in the SEC.
Well, Vandy's your biggest stepstone job. You go in there and you win 7 or 8 games a year like Franklin did. I think Franklin hit 9 one year.
Yeah, but every other coach goes to die there.
That's it. It's literally one coach.
You either go to die, or it's your stepping stone to the blue blood job. There's no in between.
I'm always to a point. I've said this to a couple guys, and I might even said it to you. Vandy just needs to go to hire one of the service academy coaches and run a triple option. That's the only chance they have to be 5 to 7 wins every year, is to run a funky ass offense that literally is, you're getting enough good athletes and enough smart players to where you probably could win 5 to 7 every year, occasionally break 8. Because playing a team like we're going to go play South Carolina, dude, they got 4 days to prepare for this shit.
It's true, man. The only thing I will say is that for a team like that pretty much even best case scenario knows they're not winning their division of the conference, they like the ebb and flow. They like the uncertainty. They like the I don't think they like losing, but I think they like the chance of having something nice happen, like a James Franklin come to them and they upset a team or two once or twice. Whereas I think if you do something like the triple option, you'll probably beat the teams that aren't good enough to overcome that, but you're still probably going to lose to every good team on your schedule.
They have a chance to beat Kentucky every year. They have a chance to beat South Carolina every year, Missouri every year. And depending on who it is, they would have a chance to catch Florida or Georgia every 5 years. They would probably have a chance to catch Tennessee every 3rd year. I'm missing one team in the East there. They are the other team in the East. And who they're playing in the West, all right, if you're not playing Alabama, if you're playing one of the Mississippi schools, you can catch them. If you're playing Arkansas, you can catch them. I'm selling this, aren't I? But for them, it's more.
It depends on if they want to be just a good mid-tier team, or if they want to. Like I said, I think they if they're gonna do something like that, they want to shoot for the moon where they can actually do something big. So they're going for more splash and then hope it works out versus something like Steady Eddie. Play good defense, control the ball with the triple option, make people not be able to properly play defense against you because they're having to worry about getting cut and have to worry about who's got the damn ball.
It's true, man. And, I'm trying to find it here. Hold on. Let me just find it. There's a quote that I like, and I want to. What is it? The Darth Vader, I will not fight you and you will meet your destiny, or the destiny quote. This is your destiny, Vanderbilt. You will never win the East. You will never win the SEC. You won't. But what you could do is be that thorny team like fucking Georgia Tech was. Georgia Tech got lucky. They were in the ACC. But you imagine every like fifth year or every 10th year with a triple option offense, Georgia has a bad game offensively and they beat Georgia like 28-24.
It's true.
Vanderbilt has to look at what they are. Vanderbilt's more service academy than they are South Carolina. That's my point. But I think whatever Witt does, and I know whoever we hire, people are going to be pissed. They are. They're going to be pissed. Some people want to change regardless. They want to change. I think a lot of reason folks were getting on the Shane train was I think people knew have a recognizable figure who has a good personality, the money's going to come in. If nothing else, Fuente has reflected that we're behind in recruiting, we're behind in the analytics of the overall of the personal development staff itself, we're behind in the paper coaches. 15 years ago, we were not. 15 years ago, we had the fourth highest paid coaching staff. If we weren't par with the blue bloods or just underneath them in facilities, we were that way. Analysts and stuff like that, just under them. We lost it. We have to try to get back there. And I think right now you want to see an influx of donations in the next 18 months, 24 months. You hire somebody. You hire somebody with a charismatic personality. You hire a CEO. We tried the X's and O's, and it stayed status quo. And again, no harm to who Justin Fuente is as a person. I think they screwed up by not hiring a good enough PR director by saying you have to coach him to become not but an expert. You have to make it where the conversations we're having with David Teal and the writers behind closed doors, that's the one you want to take to the donors.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
When he gets in his comfort zone and talking about his family and talking about football and talking about his guys, he relaxes. When he has to talk about the business of football, I talk about tight asshole, he gets a tight asshole. I mean, it just seems like he doesn't translate for him. He just wants to coach football, and that's fine for a coordinator. That's fine for a position coach. That's not fine for a head coach. And that's not necessarily knocking him as a person. That's just saying that's a limitation he has. And that's a limitation that's going to hold us back if he remains our head coach.
It's true. And, and that's his limitation. The other limitations we've mentioned before, he won't let go of his guys. And I think what's going to take him is he's going to have to take the full step down to understand this as a business. Don't hire friends. Hire people that can coach. Hire people that you can let go of. It is what it is. So, man, we've been talking, I think, about 45 minutes now or so. I mean, we're watching some football. Pac-12 after dark. I'm sipping on a Breckenbach, which, for those who have Aldi near them, go get this beer. It is probably one of the best Bachs I've had, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than a lot of your other brands.
Yeah, I had to turn you on to that. I was walking through Aldi. I was like, okay, this is kind of a knockoff brand, but it's priced right. I'll take a look at it.
But what did we talk about the other night with it? Don't let this is Aldi brand. No, this is brewed out of Wisconsin.
Yep.
Anything they know how to do in Wisconsin, they know how to make cheese and they know how to brew beer. If you see a Wisconsin brewing company on any beer, buy it. It's probably a good beer. Simple Times from Trader Joe's, I think it's $3.99 a 6-pack, $7.49 for a case or for a 12-pack. Well worth the price.
I'm with you, buddy. I mean, there's a lot out there, so yeah. Try them out and see what you like, guys. Not trying to push the beer thing and just saying he's drinking it. I've drank it. Go drink it. I will also. I'm gonna self promote here. I'm a hams guy when it comes to just like easy sipping, something domestic. That's my go-to. That's my go-to. Curtis said Genesee. Yeah, they're
They're cheap.
yeah.
They're cheap, but Genesee Simple Times hams are cheap but well-tasted beers. I
It
mean,
doesn't taste like sometimes when you get
the cheap shit.
the real cheap shit, it's like, okay, well, I'm drinking beer flavored water. Nah, this actually has some taste to it. It's got some body to it, but it doesn't fill you up like some of the heavier craft beers do, and it's cheap. So
Very. Brian, let me ask this right now. Let's get back to football real quick. As we got into our beer discussion, because clearly we've been having a few tonight. We are looking 2 weeks from tonight. We're watching the ACC championship. We might come on for an episode. We might not. Justin Fuente's been fired. If Shane is gone, if what Feldman is reporting is going to happen, who do you want to see stepping up to the podium the week after Christmas? Because I'll put it at that, the week after Christmas, 28th, 29th. Who do you want to be stepping to the podium?
At this point, knowing the stuff that is potentially went down tonight, I'd prefer Fickle. I'm gonna go Marcus Freeman. It's not sexy, but I think it's a good hire. I prefer. In a perfect world, it'd be Tony Elliott, but I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah. If you told me perfect word, it would be Tony right now too. I'm kind of with you. I think you give Freeman a chance. I think you give a 34-year-old a chance. I think you give a guy who played at an elite university, who's turned down some good positions, who played in the NFL, who from what it seems and what you read, he has a damn charismatic personality, because Fickle doesn't. Now, here's one thing about Fickle. You kind of look at him on the sidelines. He gets a little hot-headed, but Fickle, I think he could do it. I think Freeman has the personality. And, I mean, he doesn't have much to pull a coaching staff from, but sometimes maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need somebody who hasn't stopped at many places that will go out and find the best professionals with the, who jive with him versus hiring his buddies.
Yeah,
Brian,
I mean, I can see that working out for us. It's a guy that at this point hasn't made enough long contacts with people where they're willing to sacrifice their own job to make sure somebody else keeps one. Because I mean, that I feel like in a lot of ways that's what Justin Fuente's done at Virginia Tech here with Cornelison and with some of the other guys. So, I'm not saying that if we had gotten a proper offensive coordinator, everything would be sunshine and rainbows, but I don't think we'd be losing to the Liberties of the world. I don't think we get blown out by Pitt. I don't think we let the second half of tonight happen the way it happened. So that's just where I am. I think that this university and this team could benefit from the boost, the honeymoon period that comes with having a new head coach, both from a donation standpoint, fan engagement standpoint. Some of that would help buoy recruiting to a point. So, that's something that might be good for us, kind of just get some new blood in here and get some excitement back around this team, even if it's, on a wing and a prayer at this point and based on, promises and not necessarily on, something that we know is concrete. So we'll see what happens in the next, 10 days or so. Hopefully by December 15th, we'll have some words. And shortly after that, we'll maybe have a special episode for you guys to talk about that. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Some things are in the work for that, Brian, as me and you are working behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll tease that a little bit more later. This is the first little breadcrumb for you folks.
Yeah, might have a special guest. Hey, Brian, let's look through our games today. Let's start last night. You got it right. I got it wrong. Although everybody roasted Billy Napier for taking the safety. Can I say I think he was right? When you have a son bitch that can't snap a damn punt, take the safety. Because if he snaps that thing wrong and they fall on it in the end zone, they win the damn game.
I mean, you know what? It was a ballsy call. It
And it paid
was
off.
it was big time, big nut move because if that team goes down there and scores and you have to take that game into overtime, you're gonna kick your own ass for the next 100 days.
Well, they
But
score a touchdown, they win.
yeah, well, yeah,
If they missed, they were going to they would have went to the OT. But looking at it here, App State had scored one touchdown. They scored two touchdowns all game. At that point in time, they had only 290 yards of offense. I think he made the right call.
okay.
Maybe that's
Again, I didn't dislike the call given the situation, especially since it had already happened to him once in the game, and a couple other snaps had been not good.
my great
You know,
Yeah, they were terrible.
so you cost them an extra point there. You cost them a touchdown going the other way
Yeah.
on the punt. So,
All right. So you won that one. I lost.
Yeah, I did. I'll take it.
The Cuse Irish, that looked like that was going to be an upset early. Ends up the Cuse start sucking again, which is not a shock. Irish almost cover it, but they don't. I take that.
I was that close. If they'd have played that way the whole game, damn it. Oh well.
Well, BC sneakily hides that their starting running back and starting quarterback will not play until game time. So we got jacked on that one. Although UVA let their backup torch them to a point. Obviously BC's defense is a work in progress with Hapley. I mean, we scored 40 on them and we didn't look great that night. Brian, the Georgia Tech thing happens, right? We both get wins there.
Hey.
Miami happens, right? We both get wins there. Indiana has shown that they've probably got their coach the next 10 years today.
It's true.
I mean, it's almost a Frank Beamer story. Guy who he goes and coaches 20 plus years elsewhere. Frank, it was close to 15. He comes back home. They did good last year. They're doing great this year. They pull the upset in Madison. Maybe I should have never looked at Michael Penix tore his ACL. I would have went Indiana like a dumbass. Baylor covers the 22, and Coastal covers the 10 and wins outright. I'm almost shocked that after Jamie Chadwell pulls that win, that they announced that they're going to hire Shane.
You thought they'd wait a little bit and see what?
Well, he just
get Chadwell in.
Well, I mean, shit. It's almost one of those things now where with Chadwell, it's like, hell, even if you told me at his age, well, they're going to hire Chadwell. Cool. I'd be great with that. Tennessee, played in Tennessee, basically been down in South Carolina for the last 16 years coaching. I mean, shit. He's one of those guys, if he don't get hired this year and he has another good season next year, he's going to get hired. Same with Napier. But Napier, I think, I'll say it, he's waiting Gus out. Napier's about to go 11-1 or 10-1.
Yeah.
10-2. I think he'll get hired. All right, Brian. What else is out there that we might be missing? Scrolling on.
I'm not seeing anything major. A lot of debate over since the Shane news dropped who the the next candidate should be. So that's going to be, I'm sure, a fun next 10 days as we kind of start speculating on that and see what happens with Coach Fuente here with potentially getting the can.
Brian, do you care about integrity?
Integrity?
Integrity.
Yeah.
What if I told you we could win 10 to 12 games every year? Would you care about integrity?
You're talking about that integrity.
Integrity.
I'm a little more flexible on that level of integrity. I thought you were talking about personal accountability and
No. Football, Why don't we just do threes? Fuck it. Guiding coach, guiding recruit, might drop a bag or two.
If I thought we weren't going to get like a multi-year bowl ban, I'd let the dice roll there. I don't hate the hire. I mean, he's a guy that's going to get players in here, and he's a guy that's going to be able to coach them up on offense. So
he can coach his ass off, man, on offense.
And he usually puts guys good enough on the defensive side to at least get pressure on the quarterback. So if we can do those two things, that's going to result in a pretty good amount of wins.
And, well, Hugh's always been chummy, so he'll go talk to the donors.
He'll talk to anyone, man. He'll coach from a hospital bed,
Whoever takes the win. All right. Well, Brian, if there's nothing else breaking, let's wrap it up. This episode of the Boundary Corner Podcast. I am Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Please subscribe to us on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. On the podcast, please leave reviews, give us feedback. Do not hesitate to DM us with any points you'd like to see us talk about. We won't hesitate to do it. As always, we let our buddy Jason Long play us out. Catch him on Spotify and Apple Music. We thank you for listening. And as always, whether we win, whether we lose, let's go.
Hokies.